Joby closed his eyes and listened to their sad cries, muffled by the warmth of the summer afternoon. The land rolled out under the sky like a great streak of muddy watercolour, dotted here and there with stubby trees or the shining mirrors of inland waterways. Joby craned his old head back further, till his straw hat almost flopped to the ground. Its tightly bound weave was coming undone, exposing the peeling red skin on his tanned forehead. Perhaps one day he'd treat himself to a new hat. He'd let the sun beat at his face. He'd never been tempted to move away from Culverton, though he'd seen plenty of life elsewhere. Even in the parched deserts of Alexandria, under the stars where the pharaohs once walked, Joby had always dreamed of his little village. Safe, secure, always the same. As old as the hills, except, of course, that there were no hills in Culverton. None to speak of in all his beloved East Anglia. Just land and sky. Land and sky. Nowhere else ever seemed quite the same. Joby had found himself in London once, many years ago, crushed together with other countless thousands, when the King and Mr. Churchill had emerged onto the balcony of the palace to celebrate the end of hostilities. He had cheered and wept with the best of them, of course, but after a couple of days in the capital he was desperate to come home. London was such a mean, filthy, rabbit-warren of a place, everyone in such a rush, no time to say a good morning or a how'd you do. Not like Culverton. When he was a little boy, Joby would stand and windmill his arms round and round and round, just to make the most of the emptiness. Sometimes, when no one was looking, he still did. He shaded his eyes now as he looked out across the marshy farmland. There was the green with the old pump, the post office with its subsiding wall, the hodgepodge of cottages and houses clustered around the russet-coloured church as though seeking sanctuary. The air hummed with insects and the mournful song of the birds, turning and turning. Joby gave a contented sigh and turned back to his work. He lifted the hammer and with a few swift strokes banged a couple of nails into the sign he'd spent most of the morning attaching to the gates in front of him. Joby paused, shook his head. There he was, getting all misty-eyed about Culverton never changing. Yet here was change staring him in the face. The end of an era. He took a step back to take in his handiwork. The sign, red on white, glared back at him like an accusation. Culverton Aerodrome closed by order, MOD. Commander Harold Tyrrell decided the time had come to say goodbye. Great bear of a man, his rumpled face and infectious laugh had endeared him to the whole village throughout his time in charge of the aerodrome.